Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Shri Gyanmanjari for the students of Standard 9, in which we are learning the subject of English. Students, from the previous few lectures we have started with a new chapter in the supplementary reader, that is Moments, chapter number 8. Name of the chapter is A House is Not a Home. The author has aptly kept the name A House is Not a Home. House is just a building, yes, but it becomes a home when it is filled with memories, yes, that is in each and every one, and that also for quite a long time, right? Then that house, that building becomes your home. Yes, home is made up with family members. House is made up of bricks, ceiling, cement, right? So a house is made up of wood, cement, bricks, but a home is made up of family members. A home is made up of fond memories that you had in the past, right? So that makes a home. And let us take a quick recap of what we learned in the previous lectures. A small little boy who had just passed his senior primary school, and that is 7th standard, and has just stepped into the junior high school, that is 8th grade or 8th standard. Now, according to the prevalent education system in that country, yes, uh, the children who get higher grade in their respective grades, that means good marks in there, they are sent to a better school, and the rest of them, they are adjusted here and there, right? So this little boy, he was quite smart in the studies and he got good grades. He was at the top of the class, so he only got a new school, whereas everybody got a new school. Yes, but he got a different school and his all friends went to a different school. So here, as soon as he comes to the junior high school, the first year of the high school, he is all alone in the school. Yes, at home also, when he was quite young, he had lost his parents, and the mother now is a single mother and raised the little child with lots of love and care. Yes, and there are only two family members in the family, he himself and the mother, plus yeah, uh, little cat who was saved while the uh, boy was, he was also young, and the cat was also quite a kitten. At that time he had rescued that cat, and that cat had uh, become his favorite, and for the cat the little boy was the savior, and whenever the little boy was at home, the cat never used to leave him and would be around him somewhere. So this was the small little family he had, but all of a sudden he steps into a new school, new classmate, new schoolmates, new teachers, new environment. Plus the new school is twice as big as his old one. He's not able to adjust there, so now and then he comes back to his school where his teachers, they explain to him that you move ahead in the life. You are always welcome to visit your old school, to visit your teachers, but then you should get more and more involved in your new school so that you go ahead in life. And the little boy, he understands that, but nevertheless, he still keeps on going to his old school. Yes, one day while he was at home on Sunday, he was doing his homework on the dining table. He was sitting at the dining table, and all his homework and all his books, papers were spread on the dining table. The cat was sitting on top of the table and on his papers and playing with the fumbling with the pen over there. All of a sudden, the little boy notices that smoke is entering from the cracks from the top floor, that is the ceiling. And before he could realize anything, whole of the drawing room is filled with smoke. He and his mother, they dash out of the uh, house from the front door, and they go out into the yard only to find that the roof has caught fire, and that is why smoke, which was already filling up the uh, top section of the house, was now entering the uh, drawing room and the rest of the kitchen area, etc. Before even they could do anything, everything explodes in fire, and mother remembers all of a sudden something. She rushes inside. The fire is still raging, and she goes inside to collect all her invaluables, maybe credit cards, whatever, and come out. Then she again rushes her. This time the little boy tries to save her by going after her, chasing her not to go, and calling out to her not to go inside. The fire is too much, and it might be quite dangerous. He has already lost his father, so he doesn't want to lose his mother. But a strong hand catches hold of him, and he looks back and sees that it's a fireman. The fireman tells him it's okay. Some people have gone inside. Your mom will be okay, and they bring out the mom, his mom. In not that much good shape. She was not burned and all that, but she had inhaled quite a lot of smoke. So a gas mask was given to her, oxygen was given to her, and it was quite a pity to see his mother like that. He just embraced her, hugged her tight, and both of them just kept on watching the whole of the house burning down. Yes, then the fire people, they were doing their work extinguishing the fire. They drenched the whole of the house with water and chemicals and all that, and extinguished the fire. And then they had no place to go. So uh, they just had their clothes, whichever they had worn, maybe a small backpack where they just got hold of small little things, yes, before coming out, and that is what they had, right? And they went over to the boy's grandparents to spend the night. And next day was Monday, so it was school time. Now he had gone to the church in the morning, and he was still dressed in that church dressing, and he was doing his homework while he didn't change his clothes. So he was in that same clothes, and whole of the evening, whole of the night he had spent in that same dress. He didn't have any other dress to change in. So next morning he went to school in that same crumpled, dirty church dressing and attire, and he didn't even have socks and shoes. So he borrowed the tennis shoes, that is sports shoes, of his aunt, which are, of course, quite big, right? So he just manages to go over there. He doesn't have his bag, he doesn't have his homework. Yes, on the top of that, the house is burned, the cat is missing, right? So lots of problems are there. So that is where we reach. This is lecture number 3 for chapter number 8. It should be house is not a home. When I walked through what used to be my house after school that day, I was shocked to see how much damage there was. Now, this happened in the evening. Now, next day after school, he straight away went to the house to see what was there. Right? He was totally shocked to see what happened to his house. Nothing there standing was anything but black. Everything had turned black, burned down. Yes, or either the fire had destroyed to such a level that it was just, you can't bring that back thing again. Yes, so beyond repair, whatever had it burned was destroyed by the water and chemicals, and they had used to put out the fire. That is what we discussed yesterday also. Yes, uh, you have to pour water, spray water with the help of that hose, and it's quite a lot of pressure, because you have to drench the whole of the burning thing, whole of the house in water, so that not a single spark remains. Yes, maybe after the house is dried up, there is still some fire burning, some sparks remaining, and that might again catch fire, and then it's dangerous. So the fire people, they use lots of chemicals, they spray water like anything. Yes, that spray is so powerful that it destroys things, it breaks down things, furniture, etc., right? And wrenches are now the sofa set, bed, all of that drenched. It's useless, and on top of that, it's already burnt, right? So whatever was not destroyed by the fire was destroyed by the water and lots of chemicals that were used. It was nothing was useless, nothing was useful, and nothing was of much value over there. Everything was burnt. The only material things that were not destroyed were the photo albums, documents, some personal items that my mother had managed to heroically rescue. Remember, the mother went inside after both of them came out from the front door and into the lawn. The mother again had rushed back into the house to uh, bring out some important documents. So those were the things that were safe. What were they? Some photo albums that belong to the father. Father's photographs were there. Father is not there. That is the only fond memory of their father that they have. So of course they have to bring that out. Some documents and some other personal things maybe that were in my mother, that my mother had heroically, when just like a hero, she had rushed into the fire and saved those items. Those were the only items that were with them. Other than that, Nothing of the personal belonging, nothing of the house, no crockery, no furniture, no personal things. Everything got destroyed in the fire. Whatever was not destroyed by the fire, the chemicals did their work and totally destroyed those things. But my cat was gone and my heart ached for her. Heart ached. Ached means pain for her. Yes, it's a lot of pain. You have spent so many years with that small little cat and it's your favorite, and you're just missing that, and you are more worried whether it got burnt in the fire, but then you don't even find the remains in such a fire. Yes, so the cat has gone missing, and that is really very painful to me. There was no time to grieve. There was no time to be sorrowful and sad and keep crying. Yes, there is nothing with us. Just the clothes we are wearing, that's it. That is with us. We do not have anything else, right? So this is not the time to be sorrowful and sad and keep crying, right? My mother rushed me out of the house. Yes, it's not a safe place to be in a burnt house. Yes, anything may fall upon you anytime. Whole of the house may crumble because of your movement in the house. It's just waiting, yes, for a small uh, a small little jerk to happen and whole of the house would be on you, right? So it's not, and small little children, they should be kept away from the site, because it's their one of their most wonderful thing. It's their most beloved thing, their own house. Yes, and they don't want to see that house in that condition. So mother just rushed out. We didn't have time for that. Why? We would have to find a place to live. First thing is, until our house gets rebuilt, right? We need a place to live. So we got to find a place to live. That is point number one. We can't just whole of the day and night, we can't spend in the car, right? Or we can't even be up with the grandmother and grandfather, because they also don't have that much space that they can accommodate us, right? And in those countries, mostly the families, they live quite independently and they mostly don't depend on each other for these things. So it's very awkward, yes, to go and stay at somebody's place for 10-15 days. हमारे India में चलता है, yes, right? Oh, it doesn't happen over there. We would have to find a place to live, and I have to go to buy some clothes for school. Now I have to attend school. This is the same dress that I am wearing. Yes, on Sunday I had gone in the morning to the church prayer, mass prayer, and it was the same clothing I am still wearing, yes, after 24 hours. So the first thing is, I need some fresh clothing so that I can go to school properly. I need t-shirts and sweatshirts and shirts and trousers and pants and jeans and socks and shoes and slippers and all that. I need my personal things, right? I would have to go find some clothes for school. We had to borrow money from grandparents. Why? Because whatever cash they would be having at home might be that's burnt up. Mama's purse might have burnt up, right? In the she forgot to bring it out in the hurry, and whatever cash was there in the house, either in the purse or somewhere in the cupboard or some hidden place. Yes, you know how mom keeps their money here and there, right? Hidden, only she can find it, right? So she has lots of lovely, beautiful places to hide her money, right? And that always comes in handy when father is not around, right? So be grateful for that and always thank your mother, right? So now they had to borrow money because from the grandparents, because right now they didn't have any source of money, because their ATM cards, their debit cards, their what can I say, credit cards, or that plastic money, plus their bank account books, checkbooks, all was burnt in the fire. So literally they might be having some money in the bank. Now without checkbooks, now to issue a check, you need again, you got to go through a procedure, right? So credit cards, cash, or even by identification to be, now they go to the bank, say, I want a new checkbook, right? They would say, okay, bring your identity. Now that identity is lost. Now you have to first get a duplicate of your identity, or you got to get your identity again, because these things happen. Fire is going to burn them out. Then you need to take a police report and then file a complaint to get your ID cards. So whole of that process is going to take time. Money is there, but now nobody is able to give you that money. Or even by identification to be able to withdraw money from the bank. That means money is in the bank, but they have nothing to take out the money, right? They don't have that ATM or debit card or credit card. Everything was burnt, right? And They don't have checkbook, so that just go to the bank and produce the check and get the money, because checkbook also got burned. Identification is also not there. Ye mera account hai, kaun manega? Yes, so that way you need some identification to prove that you are this person. All was lost. So it will take time. Money is in the bank. Now how to take out that money? Yeah, friends and family are there. So grandparents, they had to take money from grandparents. Everything had gone up in the smoke. That is fire. That week, the rubble that used to be our house, rubble that used to be a house being cleared off the lot, whole of the week, right? It's not a pretty sight. Yes, you in those countries, yes, you open the window and you see a very sad sight of the house next to you burnt. They're going to give a complaint to the police. Yes, every day my morning goes bad because whole of my day goes bad because I open the window and I see that. So you got to remove that debris, right? And of course, they need a new place to live. Yes, everybody has a house insurance over there, so that's not a problem. They'll be making a new house for that, and the property which got burnt, asset which got burned, yes, that will be again be back. But then they will have to wait till the house is again made. So whole of that week passed in clearing that debris. Yes, it was given to the contract was given to the company, and they started breaking down whatever was remaining of that house slowly and removing the debris. Yes, trucks used to come and debris would used to be dumped in the trucks, and the trucks would go away. Again, they would come back. So slowly. It took whole of a week to clear away that debris. All that garbage which was lying over there, burnt garbage. Even though we had rented an apartment nearby, I would go over to watch them clear away debris, hoping that my cat was somewhere to be found. Yes, now, they didn't have anything of importance over there, right? Everything was burned, they knew it. Now, whatever was remaining was completely useless, right? But then also, after the school, he used to go over there and sit over there and keep on watching that debris being cleared over there. He didn't enjoy that thing, or he didn't it was not something like a pastime over there, right? He didn't have anything valuable in there that he might find. He was looking, that small little innocent boy, he was just searching for his cat, right? Somewhere maybe under the debris the cat is still there. Yes, and as soon as somebody heaves off a cupboard, the cat might spring out of there, and she might be alive. So for that little greed that he has, he just wants to find his cat, and that is why he daily goes over here, there, keeps watching the people working over there, and keeps looking over there if he can find his cat. She was gone. Now, after even the debris was completely removed now, so after all that work, he was very sad because the cat was not to be found. That means the complete debris was cleared, and the land was made plain again so that the new construction can start. That means everything was removed and the cat was not found. She was gone. I kept thinking about her as that vulnerable little kitten. Vulnerable who is exposed to danger. That's called vulnerable, right? It is a small little kitten, not that much grown up, right? And always in the house, protected, safe, and always playing with that boy, is not aware of the outside thing, right? So the cat was totally unexposed. She was made safe in the house. Yes. So outside it would be exposed to, even know, yes, lots of animals behind cats. Yes, even some of the naughty boys also, they also chase cats, right? So she was small little cat. She was exposed to that. Vulnerable means exposed to danger. That small little kitten. In the early morning, when I would disturb her and get out of bed, she would tag along after me, climb up my robe, and crawl into my pocket to fall asleep. I was missing her terribly. Now, we know, yes, we have talked this earlier also. These animals, small pet animals which we keep at home, and that also the young ones, they are so innocent and they are so much attached with the young boys and girls at home that it literally looks that they are the babies of those babies, right? Yes, young boys and girls, hardly. Yes, just take the example of this boy. He is already very young, and the small little kitten, it looks up to the boy, because the boy takes care of that small little kitten, gives food to her, plays with her, tries to make her happy. So there is an unwritten bond which is between the two. Yes, he used to remember, because now the cat is not there, and the memories of the cat used to flash back, right? He would imagine that, yes, I would be sleeping in my on my bed, and in the morning when I was awake, yes, the kitten would be sleeping somewhere with me, either on the blanket or inside the blanket. When I wake up, I used to wake up the kitten also, but the kitten was so small, and it's quite warm and cozy on the bed, is inside the blanket, that she didn't have that idea of waking up. So she would climb on to that boy's clothing and go and hide herself in that robe pocket, and she would go to sleep over there. That small little thing is in the robe over there and sleeping. The boy also doesn't mind it, and the cat also. It's so very, because she wants to remain very close to that boy, and she feels safe. That is the main thing. The small little thing, it finds safety with that boy, that she's able to sleep, yes, very fast, right? She's able to sleep, yes, in deep sleep. Why? Because she finds safety over there. Yes, she knows that that small little kitten knows that the boy is not going to hurt her, and it's going to keep her very warm and safe. So that's why. So those are the fond memories that he has of the cat, and he's really missing the cat now. I was missing her terribly. It always seems that bad news spread quickly. In my case, it was no different. Yes, it is said that good news travel apace. It's a saying, it's a proverb also, right? The proverb is good news travel apace. That means good news they spread very quickly. But the saying is still incomplete. Good news travel apace and bad news travel as fast, right? And or equally, right? So bad news, they travel even more faster than the good news, right? So it seems that in my case, bad news seems to be traveling very fast. It always seems that bad news spread quickly, right? It's common general knowledge that good news, something good has happened, that you'll come to know very late, right? But bad news, if something bad has happened, yes, everybody will be in contact with everybody and spreading the bad news, right? In that speed, nobody spreads the bad news. Nobody spreads the good news. So in my case, the bad news spread quickly, and in my case, it was no different. Here also, the same thing happened. Bad news traveled very quickly. Everyone in the high school, remember, he was a new boy in that school. So now everybody in the high school, the bad news had reached them that this new boy who has just taken admission over here has lost his home. He has already lost his father, and now he has lost his whole of the house caught fire. Yes, and he doesn't have anything to wear. He doesn't have any books. So now, let's see what the reaction is. Everyone in the high school, including the teachers, was aware of my plight. Plight, sorry condition. What is the meaning of plight? Sorry condition. So the boy says that everybody in the school, including the teachers, they knew about my condition. Plight over here means sorry. Plight is always bad condition or sorry state. Yes. So everybody was aware of the sorry state in which I am. Yes, I didn't have a house. The house got burnt completely. Right now we are living in a rented apartment. Right. So I'm not having my proper dresses. Yes. Now these things happen all of a sudden. Yes, and now if you want to build a new house, of course you got to pay for that. Yes, so that is expense increased. So might be feeling short of all these things. So, and they would look at me as if I am responsible. You have that guilty feeling in you, yes, because you are never in such kind of situation where you are very much embarrassed or ashamed. Yes. Now these things, okay, it was an accident, it was not meant purposefully, it was not done purposefully, it was completely an accident, but people will look at you as if you have done something. Yes, yahi ladka hai jiski wajah se ghar barbaad ho gaya, ghar jo hai jal gaya, right? Everybody is going to look at you. Actually they feel sorry for you, but then they won't come and approach you, they won't come and talk to you, they won't soothe you, they won't be able to calm you down, they won't be able to share your grief with them, right? In these are the cases, they will always stay away, they will always stay out of the circle and keep on watching you, and they will watch at you as if you, yes, you drenched the house in kerosene or petrol, and then you were the one who triggered the fire by matching a light stick and throwing over it, right? So in that way they would behave. It's a normal condition. Yes, कभी साइकिल से एक्सीडेंट हो जाए, यस आपके साइकिल देख के हाँ आजू बाजू वाले कैसे देखते हैं पड़ोसी, यस ये लग रहा है ये तो ऐसे ही चलाता है, राइट? सो ही इज ऑलवेज लाइक दैट, सो इसी की गलती है. You were just standing, you were not even on the cycle, you had parked that cycle somewhere, and then somebody came and hit that cycle right with a car. You didn't do anything, then also people will look at you like that. So that is the same condition. I was embarrassed as if I somehow was responsible for that. What a way to start off a new school, a grand new style to come to the school without a house, without anything. Yes, everything burnt, right? You just come loitering around as if you have come to the theater. You don't have any bags, you don't have any books. Yes, you don't have any shoes. You don't have proper dressing. Yes, sports ke liye alag, music ke liye, all the dressings over there are different. For different sports, there is a different dressing etiquette, right? So you have nothing. You are roaming around the school just like that. This was not the kind of attention I was looking for. Yes, I needed attention. I was new. I would like people to come to me and say, hi, hello, how are you? Where do you come from? What's your name? And how did you end up in this school? Yes, I wanted to make friends, but not in this way. Yes, everybody is coming over to me and sympathizing. Oh, tumhara galjar, are bahut achhi baat. And no, not in that way. But then everybody is looking at me very sympathetically, and I'm very much ashamed and quite embarrassed at this situation. This was not the kind of attention that I was seeking in the new school. The next day at school, people were acting even more strange. When news spread, first day it didn't, because Monday I just came from home. Nobody knew that my house was burnt, right? But by next day, 24 hours, the news spread like anything. And when I came on Tuesday to school, everybody is looking at me in a shock state, right? Right, and people were acting even more strange than usual. I was getting ready for gym class at my locker. People were miling around me asking to hurry up. I thought it was strange, but in the light of the past few weeks, nothing would surprise me. It almost seemed that they were trying to show me into the gym, and then I saw why. Yes, past many weeks this happened. Yes, I was quietly going to the school, and slowly the news spread that this boy house is burnt and he doesn't have many things to play with or to do his homework and all that. So I was in the gym, and I was in the I was getting ready for the gym classes near my locker. Yes, and changing clothes, etc. You keep your clothes in the locker and you wear the clothes for the gym, you're dressing for the gym. And then the people were crowding around me and trying to show me into the gym. They wanted me to see something. Yes, I took it very naturally. Okay, ab yehi baki reh gaya hai, right? I don't know, they are going to throw me out of the school or they are going to throw me out of the gym. Whatever, they are just pushing me, so I'll just go along with that. I'll get myself pushed. Actually, they pushed me into the gym, and then I knew why they were pushing, why they were so much excited, why they pushed me into the gym. I saw why. There was a big table set up with all kinds of stuff in it just for me. I was very surprised. There was a big, huge table over there, and whole of the table was filled of lots of stuff that was for me. Whole of the school, whole of the class, maybe all the boys and girls, they collected their own stuff. Whatever was spare with them. Yes, somebody had a notebook, somebody had 2-3 pens, somebody had crayons, somebody had colors, somebody had some sneakers, that is shoes, etc. And everybody put on everything that they had spare with them in order to gift me, because right now I was in trouble, right? So do you think this new school is good? Is it better than the old school? Yes, it is certainly is, right? They had taken up a collection and bought me school supplies, notebooks, all kinds of different clothes, jeans, tops, sweatshirt. It was like Christmas. They had spared that money, and they had gone to the market, they had gone to the stores and shops and malls to buy things for me. Yes, they were not only used things, but there were also new things in there. And all of them had bought lots of things for me. What were they? School supplies. What are school supplies? Different types of dressing, different types of shoes, socks, right? Some play material. जैसे हमारे पास cricket का bat होता है, same way some badminton racket over there, or tennis racket, or football, rugby wala, right? So they had brought all the school supplies, notebooks and textbooks and all kinds of different clothes. Yes, and everything included. Not only for school, for outside also, because when the house is burned, all your outside, inside, where everything is gone, right? Jeans and tops and sweatshirts and all that. It was like Christmas. नया गिफ्ट कब मिलता है? क्रिसमस में. Yes, नया गिफ्ट कब मिलता है? हमको तो जो है बर्थडे पे मिलता है, बाकी कुछ होता नहीं है, right? But they get a new gift in Christmas, right? Lucky fellows. We don't get anything in Diwali. I was overcome by emotion. People who had never spoken to me before coming up to me and introducing themselves. Yes, I was overcome by emotion. I didn't know what to say. What is overcome by emotion? There was so much of emotion. I never thought that my new school, the new classmates that I had, the new schoolmates I had, they were so thoughtful. They were thinking about me, and without letting me know, they collected all the stuff from wherever they can and piled. Until that time, I didn't know. They kept it a secret. Just pushed me into the gym, and there everything was lying over there. That means not only school students were there, teachers also might have contributed, and all of the stuff was lying. So I was overcome by emotion. I didn't know how to express. You see, what happens at that? Your eyes get wet. They're not tears, right? They're not tears. You are in such a state of confusion that you don't know actually what you say, and that is good thing to happen. That is a very good thing. That's a show of emotions that you have, right? But then you're totally confused. You don't know what to do. So I was overcome by emotion. People I never saw face in my life, they were coming up to me and they were introducing themselves. Yes, maybe boys and girls junior to me, maybe boys and girls of my own standard or my own grade or class, and maybe even the seniors who were studying in 9th and 10th. All those people, I never saw them before. They were coming to me and introducing themselves, giving me their names. I got all kinds of invitation to their houses. Yes, people knew this boy is really, he was just a common boy with just like all of them. But all of a sudden, he's on the footpath because his own house, his dear own house, well, all the stuff burned down, right? So they are they're in kind of quite great difficulty. So everybody is giving invitation to him to come to their home and spend some time with them, either for lunch, either for dinner, either on Sunday, right? Or to share the notes because he's new and he doesn't have anything to share notes or to just come and play with them. All sorts of invitation to come there. Their genuine outpouring of concern really touched me. This last line is very, very important in terms of emotions. It is genuine. Yes, you don't see any fake, any false thing over there. Yes, you don't see any false or fake or made up emotions over there. They are not taunting you. That is made up emotion. Yes, हम जानते हैं बहुत अच्छी तरह से कल आना है मेरे घर में आपको पता है वो मना कर रहा है, right? So right that way, no, here he sees some genuine emotions over there, and that is real, authentic. Yes, you can feel it with the help of your heart, not with your mind. You'll feel it with the help of your heart that what he says, it's true. He really wants me to come to his house and share, maybe not food, but say studies or just playing, right? All sorts of invitation. And that concern they were showing to me, that really touched me. In that instant, I finally breathed a sign of relief and thought for the first time that things were going to be okay. I made friends that day. All of this paragraph is very, very touchy. Yes, for the first time in so many days, for the first time since I joined the school, I thought that this school is worthwhile. This school has importance, just as much and even more importance than my old school. I finally breathed a sign of relief that up till now everything bad was happening to me. Everything bad was happening to me. I was in the last year in my last school, and then they pushed me out and I had to go to a new school. Only I went there and rest of my friends went to other school. On top of that, my complete house was burnt down. My each and every belonging burnt out in there. My cat was missing. I didn't have a house. I didn't have money. Yes, we didn't have money to buy things. And such an overwhelming situation over there that everybody was willing to give me something or the other, and everybody, they're not trying to show sympathy to you. Yes, children, they're not that much grown up that they will show sympathy like the adults do. Yes, when a child touches a child, it is genuine touch, it is genuine emotion. Yes, you won't feel it, you will accept it. right? It happens with you all the time that when your friends who are sitting near you in your classroom, yes, oh, that was absent for this 1 year, but at least till ninth standard you enjoyed that. Yes, you know who is your friend and who is not. Yes, whenever somebody touches you from behind, you know it is your friend. Yes, and you don't have a second thought about that, right? So that is what friends are for. That relief, that sign, yes, my friend is there with me. Yes, so I breathe a sign of relief and thought for the first time. Now, because I have so many friends with me, I have so many sympathizers, I have so many people who are ready to help me in whatever way. That means all the bad days are over, all the bad moments are over. Now it's a good start. Now everything good is going to happen to me. I made friends that day. For the first time when I joined that new school, since then, this was the day I made lots and lots of friends. Yes, eyes teeming with tears, yes, brimming with tears, full with tears, all the eyes, they are wet, yes, and all the people, they're trying to introduce themselves, trying to give him, offer him something or the other which will help him out till he gets all these things again back on track, right? And they want me to be their friends. They want me to realize that we are always there for you. So on that day, I made lots of friends. A month later, so now time passes. A month later, I was at my house watching them rebuild it. Now, after 1 month, yes, all the debris was cleared. Yes, and whatever injured, I am not told that, but must have been, right? So the new house was being built right from the scratch, from the base level. The new house was being built. So I used to go over there and sit and keep on watching. I used to sit myself on the side of the footpath, right? And maybe a friend of his is also there, and both of them are sitting and watching the workers do their work and making the new house, rebuilding it. By this time, it was different. Now, 1 month we are talking, 1 month later. So by this time, everything changed. I wasn't alone. I was with two of my new friends from school. Now things have totally changed. Now everybody in the school, they are my friends. Yes, even the teachers are so helpful to me, right, with me. And right now also, I am not alone. I am sitting over there in front of my house on the side of the curb, and I am with two new friends who came from the new school. So now everything is again back to normal. My house was burned. Okay, let's forget that. Now it's being rebuilt. New houses coming up. Within no time, it will be built. And again, I will be living in my house. Yes, with all my new things and my new friends and all that. And again, life will go on smoothly as it went. It took a fire for me to stop focusing on my feelings of insecurity and open up to all the wonderful people around me. I had that sense of insecurity. Why was that sense of insecurity? Because he was a young child, quite a small boy, yes, who just passed out its seventh standard. On the top of it, he did not have a father. Father died when he was quite young. He was brought up by mother. So he was very much attached with the mother. And you know, mother already lost the husband and now cares a lot too much about the child. It always happens, right? That mother doesn't want to lose now another one in her life. So always taking care of him. So cozy and comfortable, we understand, but then he failed to understand the world. It took me one fire, it took me lots of destruction to understand that I am not supposed to sit in a corner and weep and cry the whole time. This is the world I live in. I have to give up my feelings of insecurity and I have to open up to all. Open up, that means mingle with others, socialize with them, become friends, make friends, so that I open up myself and people welcome me, I welcome them, and the life will become so speedy, right? And so comfortable with all the friends and all that, with all the wonderful people around me. Now I was sitting there watching my house being rebuilt when I realized my life was doing the same thing. Yes, again I was back to normal. While we sat there, while we sat there on the curb planning my new bedroom, I heard someone walk up to me from behind and say, "So life has changed for me." And this is a good change that, what is the meaning of the previous paragraph? I realized my life was doing the same thing. I was watching my house rebuilt. Same way, I was watching myself being rebuilt. Earlier, I was feeling very insecure. I didn't feel safety. I didn't mingle with more people. I just had some of two or three friends, or maybe a small group of friends. Apart from that, I didn't know what the world was. Right now, with that fire, because of that fire, now I know a whole lot of people, and that sense of insecurity in me is gone, and I am growing up in a new way. I am also being rebuilt. I realized my life, there's a very important line. I realized my life was doing the same thing for me, rebuilding myself. Yes, and I was sitting on the curb, we were planning the new bedroom. Yes, now they are building the house right from the scratch again, right? So they haven't even come up to the bedroom. So he's planning his bedroom with his friends, what should be there and all that. Yes, it's a good thing too. Take advice and suggestion and opinion from others, right? So they were planning his bedroom with all of them together. Suddenly, somebody came up from behind and said to me, "Does this belong to you?" When I turned around to see who it was, I couldn't believe my eyes. A woman was standing there holding my cat. I didn't see the woman. I just saw the figure of the woman, but my focus was completely in her arms where she was carrying the cat. Yes, and I just spring bolted upside from wherever I was sitting, and I rushed to her and just snatched away the cat. A woman standing there holding my cat. I leapt up and grabbed her out of the woman's arm. I held her close to me and I cried to that beautiful orange fur. Yes, all of a sudden, everything is changed in my life. Everything good is happening. And the last good thing happened to me is right now, I got my cat back. A woman came up to me and asked if this thing belongs to him. And when he turned back to look at that woman, instead of looking at that woman, his eyes fall on what is in her arms, his beloved cat. Yes, he springs, he bolts over there, yes, and snatches away his beautiful little cat from the woman's hand and just clings it to his arms, right to near his chest, near his heart, and that cat also is purring because after a very prolonged time, she is finally meeting the owner, right? So the cat is equally very much pleased to again be with that small little boy, and both of them are happy, the cat also and the little boy also. She purred happily, right? Instantly, these pet animals, with the help of their strong sense of sensing, smelling, they instantly recognize their near and dear ones. Yes, their beloved ones. So cat also, eh, it's very good at the sense of smelling, and it instantly recognizes not only by face but by the smell also that yes, this is the owner now, or this is the boy I used to live with. Yes, I am his pet. And she was purring. That is a sound given by the cat when it's quite happy. My friends hugged me, were hugging me, hugging the cat and jumping around. My friends also, because they knew everything about me, that I was missing my cat like anything. Yes, I was missing my house. Now the house, the debris is cleared, it is being built. Yes, and I also got lots of things donated from the friends, and only thing I'm missing now is my cat, right? So the boys also who were with this little boy, they were jumping and dancing around him. They also were hugging both the people, that small little boy and the cat, and they were dancing and enjoying and hugging each other. Yes, they are also feeling that happiness that yes, this my friend over here is happy to get his cat back. It's really, really quite good to get your cat back. Apparently, my cat had been so freaked by the fire that she ran over a mile away. Her collar had our phone number on it. Yes, all of a sudden, yes, same thing. The little boy who was on his table, dining table, doing his work at the dining table, and the cat was on the dining table. Yes, and the boy, because mother must have grabbed the hand of the little boy, and both of them rushed outside. Yes, the door might have closed from inside, and the cat didn't find enough time to get out to the door. Cats, they'll go out for a minute. But she was so freaked, she was so frightened by the fire that once she jumped out of the house, she kept on running until a mile, and then she got lost. Right? Now, these people, they have the collar on their pet animals. So same way, the boy also had wrapped a collar, yes, around the cat's neck, and it had the child's phone number on it. But when the phone also got destroyed, now that lady who found the cat will keep on ringing, but then it will be out of reach. We know the standard. But our phones had been destroyed and disconnected. This wonderful woman took her in and worked hard to find out whose cat it was. Somehow she knew this cat was loved and surely missed. Right? Now, this woman who found the cat kept the cat with her and tried to find out with the help of that phone number, but now the phone number was disconnected, so she was not able to connect with the family. Yes, and she decided to keep the cat till she finds the owner and returns, because she knows by the behavior of the cat, she knows that she is desperate to get back to the family she belonged to, and she promised herself that she'll do anything to find that family and again return the cat to them. Somehow she knew this cat was loved and sorely missed. As I sat there with my friends and my cat curled up in my lap, all overwhelming feelings of loss and tragedy seemed to diminish. All that happened with me. Suddenly, it vanished out of my mind, right? All the destruction, all the distraught, all the disgust, all the distress, all the tension. Yes, with the last thing my cat found, is everything seemed to be diminished, now becoming smaller and smaller, and ultimately it will vanish. I felt gratitude for my life, thankfulness. Gratitude means thankfulness. My new friend, the kindness of a stranger, and the loud purr of my beloved cat. The cat was back, and so was I. The cat came back into my life, and my life, I know it has now changed, right? So everything, now once something good starts in your life, it keeps on going and going, right? Everything good is going to happen to you now, right? It might be a surprise or it might just fall in your way, but once your good time starts, it will keep on going forever. So we finish this chapter over here. Thank you, students.